Have you ever felt like someone has complete control over your emotional state? Like their mood becomes your mood, their pain becomes your pain, and their joy lights up your entire world? I used to think I was just overly sensitive, but then I discovered something that changed everything, the profound truth about soulmate connections and how they literally rewire our emotional landscape. Today, I'm sharing my personal journey of discovering how my soulmate controls my emotions and the science behind why this happens to millions of people around the world. But before we dive in, if you're someone who believes in deep soul connections and wants to understand the mysteries of love and emotional bonds, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Here at the Soulmate Sketcher, we explore the profound connections that shape our lives and help you understand your own soulmate journey. It started 3 years ago. I was living my life as a perfectly independent person, or so I thought. I had my emotions under control, my life was organized, and I prided myself on being logical and level-headed. Then I met Alex. The first time our eyes met, something shifted inside me. It wasn't just attraction, it was like looking into a mirror that reflected parts of my soul I didn't even know existed. Within weeks, I noticed something strange happening. When Alex was happy, I felt inexplicably joyful, even when we were miles apart. When they were stressed about work, I'd feel anxious knots in my stomach without knowing why. At first I dismissed it as coincidence, but then came the day that changed everything. I was at work, having a perfectly normal day, when suddenly I was overwhelmed by a wave of sadness. Tears started streaming down my face for no apparent reason. My colleagues were concerned. I couldn't explain what was wrong because I genuinely didn't know. An hour later, Alex called me. They had just received news that their childhood dog had passed away. The timeline matched perfectly with my emotional breakdown. This wasn't normal empathy. This was something deeper, more visceral. It was as if our emotional systems had become intertwined. Intrigued and slightly worried, I dove into research. What I discovered was fascinating. Dr. Helen Fisher, a biological anthropologist, has studied the brain chemistry of love for decades. Her research shows that when we form deep romantic connections, our brains undergo actual physical changes. The neural pathways associated with the reward system become hyperactive when we think about our beloved. But soulmate connections go even deeper. Studies on emotional contagion show that humans naturally synchronize their emotions with those they're closest to. With soulmates, this synchronization reaches extraordinary levels. The phenomenon I was experiencing has a name: limbic resonance. It's the capacity for sharing deep emotional states that arises from the limbic system, the part of our brain responsible for emotion, behavior, and long-term memory. Dr. Thomas Lewis, who coined this term, explains that when two people form a deep bond, their limbic systems learn to synchronize. They literally attune to each other's emotional frequencies. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Scientists have discovered something called mirror neurons. Brain cells that fire both when we perform an action and when we observe someone else performing that same action. These neurons are responsible for empathy, but in soulmate connections, they seem to work over time. It's like having an emotional Wi-Fi connection with your partner, constantly downloading their emotional state. Research from the University of Virginia found that when people are deeply in love, their brains respond to their partner's pain as if it were their own. The neural activity is nearly identical. Fascinated by this science, I started documenting our emotional synchronicities. I kept a journal, noting my sudden mood changes and later checking with Alex about their emotional state at those times. The results were stunning. 97% of my unexplained emotional shifts correlated with Alex's experiences. Physical symptoms like headaches or stomach aches often coincided with Alex's stress, even positive. Emotions like sudden bursts of creativity aligned with Alex's breakthrough moments. One particularly memorable instance. I woke up at 3 a.m. feeling incredibly excited and energized. I later learned Alex had just received news about a major promotion at exactly 3 a.m. their time, despite being in a different time zone. But this deep connection isn't always easy. When your emotions are so intertwined with another person, it creates unique challenges. Emotional boundaries. Blur. I struggled to distinguish between my emotions and theirs. Was I actually stressed about my presentation? Or was I picking up on Alex's anxiety about their family visit? Amplified conflicts. Our arguments became emotionally nuclear. When we fought, it wasn't just our own anger we were dealing with. We were feeling each other's pain simultaneously, creating an emotional feedback loop. Codependency risks. There were times I lost myself in the connection. My individual identity began to fade as I became so attuned to Alex's emotional state. Long-distance difficulties. When we were apart, the emotional connection sometimes felt overwhelming. Feeling their stress or sadness without being able to help or comfort them was torture. Through therapy and self-work, I learned crucial strategies for managing this intense connection, grounding techniques. When overwhelmed by emotions, I learned to ask, is this mine or theirs? Simple grounding exercises, feeling my feet on the floor, naming 5 things I could see, helped me reconnect with my own emotional center. Communication protocols. Alex and I established check-ins. When I felt strong emotions, I'd text them, feeling anxious, is everything okay? This helped us identify whose emotions were whose. Individual space. We learned the importance of energetic boundaries. Meditation, separate hobbies, and time with other friends helped maintain our individual identities. Energetic protection. I discovered visualization techniques, imagining a gentle boundary of light between us, not to block the connection, but to filter it, allowing love while maintaining autonomy. Despite the challenges, this deep emotional connection brings incomparable gifts, unparalleled understanding. Alex understands me in ways no one else can. They feel my emotions, so there's no need to explain or justify my feelings. Healing together. Our emotional synchronicity means we can help heal each other's wounds. When one of us works through trauma, the other feels the relief and liberation too. Amplified joy. Just as negative emotions can create difficult feedback loops, positive emotions become exponentially more powerful. Our shared happiness creates an upward spiral of joy. Intuitive support. We often know exactly what the other needs without words. Alex has called me countless times just when I needed to hear their voice, guided by our emotional connection. Many spiritual traditions speak of soulmates as 2 halves of the same soul. While science offers neurological explanations, there's something undeniably mystical about these connections. In Buddhism, the concept of interdependence suggests that all beings are connected, but soulmates experience this truth more tangibly. The Kabbalah teaches about Bashut, the idea that souls are paired before birth and spend their lives seeking reunion. Whether you lean towards scientific or spiritual explanations, the experience remains the same, a profound emotional interweaving that defies conventional understanding. If you're experiencing this kind of connection, here's what I've learned. Acknowledge its power. Don't dismiss or minimize what you're experiencing. These connections are real and powerful. Maintain your identity. No matter how strong the connection, you remain an individual. Nurture your own interests, friendships, and goals. Communicate openly. Talk to your partner about what you're experiencing. Chances are they're feeling it too. Seek support. Consider therapy or counseling, especially if the connection feels overwhelming. A professional can help you navigate the intensity. Practice energetic hygiene. Just as we shower daily, we need to cleanse our energy. Meditation, nature walks, or salt baths can help maintain emotional clarity. Trust the process. These connections exist for our growth. Even the challenges are opportunities for deeper self-understanding. 3 years into this journey, I've learned that having my emotions influenced by my soulmate isn't a weakness or codependency. It's a profound gift that requires wisdom to navigate. Science shows us how our brains synchronize in love. Spirituality reveals the deeper purpose of these connections. But lived experience teaches us the most important lesson. These bonds exist to help us grow, heal, and experience love in its fullest expression. Your soulmate doesn't really control your emotions. They reveal the interconnected nature of all consciousness. They show us that the boundaries we perceive between ourselves and others are more fluid than we imagine. If you're on this journey, embrace it. Learn from it. Let it transform you while maintaining your individual light. Has your soulmate connection changed how you experience emotions? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your journey. If this video resonated with you, please like and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe to the Soulmate Sketcher for more insights into the mysteries of soul connections and love. Remember, you're not alone in this experience. Millions of us are learning to navigate these profound connections. Together, we can understand and honor the deep bonds that make us human. Until next time, trust your heart, honor your emotions, and cherish the connections that light up your soul.